Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of C++ Crash Course. I'm Nick from Coffee Before Arch, and today we're going to be looking at a special type of classes called structs or structures, and we're also going to be looking at how we can overload operators. So in an earlier video, we talked about if we wanted to have, say, two functions that have the same name, we could do overloading. Now, it turns out we can do the same thing for addition, so we can redefine what addition means if there's a circumstance that calls for it. And we can do it for more than just addition, but we'll stick to addition in this simple example. So let's go ahead and open up our example for today, which is going to be structs and ops.cpp. It's already open. So here we're going to have a structure, and so structures are defined just like classes, so it'll be struct, the name of the struct, which will be US currency, and then we'll have fields and methods inside. So in this case, we'll have two fields, an integer dollars and an integer cents, and then we'll have a constructor that will take two integers, and then if we don't get any integers or someone doesn't give us any arguments, we'll go ahead and just initialize it to 0, right? And we'll use an initializer list to do that. So what's the difference between a struct and a class? So by default in a class, we talked about the access specifiers. We talked about how for a class, everything was private by default. Now with a struct, it's different. So everything in a struct is public by default, right? So everything can be accessed from anywhere. So that's the real difference between classes and structures, but they're similar in a lot of ways. Especially in the fact that we can have fields like this, we can have methods, and we can have something like a constructor as well. So nothing terribly new there, but just a different type of object we can work with. So moving on, we also have this operator overloading here. So now we want to make right now we have an object that has dollars and cents, so two different fields. Now it'd be nice for us in order to add, say, two objects that are both US currency and get a meaningful result. So what we don't want to have happen is, say, if someone has $0.50 and another person has $0.50, we don't want to add those two objects together and get $0.100. We want to get $1.00. So we want it to mean something, and we want it to be a little more precise than just adding up the total number of cents and the total number of dollars. That's not really we can do better than that, right? So that's exactly what we'll do here. So we'll say that we're going to overload the operator, the plus operator, so addition, and our inputs will be two objects of type currency, US currency. So we'll add US currency plus a US currency object, and we'll just name them M and O. So here, inside of it, what we'll do is we'll just create a temporary object called temp, TMP. Then we'll add the cents from both fields of our input objects, so m.cents and o.cents, and we'll put it in temp cents. Then we'll go ahead and do the same thing with dollars, and we'll access m.dollars and o.dollars. Now again, we want to handle the case where we have over 100 cents. So here, that's exactly what we'll do. So if our temp.cents is greater than or equal to 100, we want to make sure that we add 1 to the number of dollars we have, and we want to make sure that our temp cents over here gets subtracted by 100 cents, right? And so this is just a very simple way of doing this. Now there may be a case where say somebody inputs that they have $8.03. Now we're not checking for that here, but we're trusting the user a bit in order to say, hey, you know how much money you have. If you have $4, you're not going to put in $1.03. But we could also check for that if we wanted, but we'll leave that out for now. So and then we'll go ahead and just return this temp object, and then that takes us to our main function. So in our main function, we'll create two wallets, so of US currency type. So just an example, a wallet will have some kind of value, and we're giving that value right here. So this wallet 1 will have, say, $5.50. This wallet 2 will have $6.75. And let's say we want to find how much money is in both the wallets together. So just doing it in our heads, we can see we're going to get $12.25. So we will enter this if statement right here because 50 plus 75 is going to give us 125. So what we should be left with is, again, $12.25. So over here, again, so we create a new object of US currency called wallet3, and we set it equal to wallet1 plus wallet2, and it will call this, it'll use this overloaded operator here because we're using these US currency types here, right? So then we'll go ahead and just print the result, and so we'll just access the dollars field and the cents field of our wallet3 object, so the instance of US currency that corresponds to wallet3. So let's go ahead and compile it. So we'll call g++-o on structs and ops.cpp, take an input of structs and ops, right, it compiled. Now let's go ahead and run it. All right, so we get $12.25. So nothing too terribly surprising, but we can see that we were able to completely change the meaning of what the addition sign did. And we could do this for a number of things: subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. Even, shifting operations, we could do that as well. So that's going to do it for today. As always, if we go to github.com/coffeebeforearch, we have the 4 video series that I've been working on. So our C++ course, a GPU programming course in CUDA, which is NVIDIA's programming language that's an extension of C and C++. Then we have the Python 3 crash course, and then the series called This Week in Architecture, where I go over research papers. But if we go to C++ crash course and we go into fundamental concepts to classes, we see we've got our example from today inside of structs and ops. So feel free to download this, play around with it, check it out. If you have any questions, make sure to message me at the base of this course in the README. It's got my contact information in case you've got an idea for a video that you'd like, as well as links to all the other videos. So as always, have a nice day.